What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Week 1 kickoff show here on NFL Turf Talk. We are streaming live to you guys on the DSM Media Twitter channel as well as the DSM Turf Talk YouTube channel, guys. So first and foremost, make sure to do us a favor and yourself a favor by checking us out on Twitter at DSM_media is where you can find us. Hit that follow button and then check out the link tree in our bio. It'll take you to every social media platform we are available on: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. But most importantly, check out the YouTube link to the Turf Talk channel. It's the best and only spot to get your thoughts, comments, and questions pulled up here with us. I'm one half of your host, Dylan Davis. To my left, my faithful co-host, Scotty. Football is back. The weather's getting colder. No better time of the year, man. What is going on? And happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, my brother. I am so happy to be here. I think it's awesome that we once again, because this happened last year as well to start the season. Let me turn that off. Got the notifications hitting here live.
No worries.
But no, we started last season the same exact way. And what I'm talking about is the Eagles not playing on Week 1 Sunday. We get that W out the way. So no stress today outside of our bets, which – that's always fun stress. We sign up for that. But, well, yeah. let me backtrack a little bit. We don't like it to be sweaty, but most of the time it gets pretty sweaty. No chance of an Eagles loss today. Let me put it that way, because that hurts more than a loss bet, right? Is that fair to say? Okay, so yeah, we don't have to worry about that today. But yeah, Terry, Niners kick it off today.
Sit back, relax, watch uninterrupted commercial-free. Never mind, not commercial-free football anymore. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. The one question I had, is the Red Zone channel still just the channel on cable? Do I just go to the Red Zone channel, because I see people saying they have a subscription to ESPN Plus, so I'm confused by maybe that's people without cable that are saying that, but. Once it hits noon, if I go on and 861 doesn't count anymore, I'm going to be pissed.
I'm gonna look that up, man. I have YouTube TV, so okay. I'm not even sure how it works with YouTube TV, but I know there was something that changed. I don't know if it's just the commercials. I haven't looked fully into it, but I'm with you. The Red Zone makes the day. It's everything, to say the least. So, I need that to be operating correctly. But, yeah, I'll look that up here while we get started just to see.
We got Niners in the chat. We got Rams. And, of course, D-Rab, Jalen Hurts, 15-0 in his last 15 starts. You also had the Chargers and Justin Herbert put on a show on Friday night, taking the Chiefs to 0-1, which makes the next Sunday game against the Birds and Arrowhead very, very interesting now. In the Super Bowl rematch and revenge spot. So we'll see how that plays out. But, man, looking at this Sunday slate, we're going to get into our best bets. If anyone has any fantasy football questions they want to get in, throw them out there. We also put together a 4-leg touchdown parlay that we'll give out at the end of the show if anyone wants to tail. But we're going to start by breaking down most of these games and then giving predictions for all of these games. So you look at the slate, it's a beautiful slate. I'm not going to lie to you. There are a lot of big time matchups, especially as the day progresses and then into Sunday night football with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson battling it out. If you had to give me one game that you're most excited for, gambling aside, fantasy aside, just football watching, what game has caught your eye so far on the slate?
It's a great question. Because there are some great options here. I think the Ravens and the Bills are the easy answer, but that game isn't as interesting to me as it looks, if that makes sense. At the end of the day, the Ravens and the Bills, they're digging for something bigger than this Week 1 matchup. Yeah, it's a revenge matchup for the Ravens, but if the Ravens go out here and beat the Bills today or tonight,
correct,
it's not going to change my perception on what they can do in the postseason. It's going to take a whole season. It's going to take playoff performances to change that. So I think, I say that to just go to the other game that I am picking as my favorite to look at today. But the Bills and Ravens, it's a great matchup. Don't get me wrong. We'll get into it later. I'm not trying to downplay that. I'm just marking it as my second most interested matchup. The other one is the Lions and Packers. That's in-house. That's NFC. And quite honestly, I think you look at both of these teams kind of could use a statement win to start the season. I think both of these teams kind of need to win this game. You look at the Green Bay Packers in this division, and at home. That's the big thing for me with the Packers today. Yeah. They're in Lambeau against the Lions. This is one of their two matchups. Very similar to the Eagles and the Cowboys, right? Like not on the same scale because the Lions are much better in perception to the Cowboys, but just taking care of business at home within your division to start the season. Along with that, you just traded a bunch for Micah Parsons. You're going to have that excitement rolling into Lambeau with week one and the start of the regular season. Take advantage and punch your division rival in the mouth. And that's why I find this game so interesting, because on the other side, you have the Lions coming off maybe the most disappointing loss in their franchise history, quite honestly, to the Commanders in the postseason. You need to bounce back from that immediately and beat the Green Bay Packers today to start the season fresh, help us all move on, not just Lions fans, but all NFL fans move on from that just embarrassing loss in your own home field in Detroit to the Washington Commanders and a rookie quarterback. Yep. You go out there and you show that this is still your division. So that's why I do like that NFC matchup the most today, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And obviously the Ravens and the Bills we'll get to probably next. But this is the one that has caught my eye, and it's probably catching everyone's eye because this is huge for both sides, right? Like it's a week one matchup, but we know how people can get ahead of themselves positively or negatively depending on what you're looking at and coming out on top. But the Lions not only coming back and bouncing back from that awful loss to a rookie quarterback on your home turf, like you mentioned, but a lot of turnover, right? Aaron Glenn gone in New York now.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson gone in Chicago now.
Yeah.
What does that offense look like? I know it was preseason to start, but that offense, I remember in the was at the Hall of Fame game, and then I think like 2 weeks in the preseason, people were already having questions. So how do they bounce back not only from their season ending that in that fashion, but how do they look now on offense? What does Jared Goff look like in what could be a new system in place in Detroit? Yeah. And then reversely, very lofty expectations for a lot of people when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. Like you mentioned, the Micah Parsons trade just accelerates that timeline even more. There's people having them get to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, 1 seed in the NFC. We'll have to go through Lambeau potentially. Now, obviously, Micah's just traded 2 seconds ago, and he's got the back concern, so I doubt he's going to be playing every snap or most snaps. I think you'll see him in there on a lot of third downs and clear rushing the passer opportunities today. Passing situations, I mean by that. So if you're Green Bay, how do you come out against that division rival, and what do you look like today and kind of set the tone for the season, right? Because last year they had very high expectations, not the expectations people have for them now, but you lose to the Eagles in a close game in week 1 in Brazil, and people were still riding. So how do you look today? Thanks, bro.
Yeah, no, I think the brew, yes. No, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. I think that's why this is up there as one of the biggest games of the day. For our money, it is the biggest game of the day. There are some other great matchups, but I think that was a great place to start. Yeah. So who do you have winning that game? I guess is a good question.
I do like the Packers to come away with it, man. And you know my opinions on the Packers do not align. Not with yours maybe, but with a lot of people's out there. I don't think they're this world beater. I do not like their wide receiver room. Their defense is very good. If they can run the football effectively with Josh Jacobs again, and Jordan Love doesn't turn the ball over today, I think they'll come away with a very close win. Who do you think also, who do you have winning, but who do you think this game is bigger for? Because we just mentioned both sides, how important setting the tone for the season in the division is. At the end of the year, this matchup could come down, it could come down to who wins this division and who's sneaking in as a wild card potentially.
Yeah, no, it's a great point, and I know both of us picked the Packers to ultimately win this division. So I think if you want to win this division, it has to be bigger for the Packers just because they're at home.
Yeah.
To start the season, it is hard to say just because it's week 1. So much can change over time, but at the same time, you just got this big acquisition. The fan base is going to be just jumping out of the stands today at Lambeau Field. And you have to ask yourself, like, if you can't beat the Lions week 1 in Lambeau, with all this hype coming into the season, you're supposed to be this well-rounded, good to great team. When would you beat them? And like I said, I know that's saying a lot. You go throughout the season, the Packers will get better, the Lions will get better. But no, I think it's a bigger game for the Packers being at home. Jordan Love, like you said, not turning the ball over. That's something he's struggled with throughout his career. Got it a little under control second half of the season last year. Can you keep that
same
going?
systems, right? Like you have your OC and your DC in-house. The Lions have all that turnover. You guys should be the team on the same page. So we'll see D-Rab agreeing Packers with the win today.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a great game. That over is definitely interesting from a gambling standpoint as well.
It was 47.5, right? Yeah, I do agree. I think points will be scored ultimately. To this point, the Packers win today, and that's why it is more important for them, because the Packers can win today. It doesn't necessarily mean they have a leg up on the Lions in the division. That's not until you go and play them in Detroit. So the only one that can get a leg up, in my opinion, today is
by going on the road and coming away with a victory early in the season. So, but yeah, I do think that the Packers come away with this one, and I'll say that the over hits as well, man. Should we get into some Sunday Night Football now, because that's the second biggest game, or possibly the biggest game, with two MVP candidates, Lamar and Josh battling out, obviously in the divisional round. Mark Andrews, was that a 2-point conversion, I believe, that he dropped, not a touchdown? That ultimately ended the Ravens season. Again, big matchup. Not all that important to either team, right? Like you mentioned, the Bills beat them. Did the Bills beat them twice last year? I remember in the regular season, one of the sides got embarrassed, and I can't remember if it was Josh getting embarrassed or Lamar getting embarrassed. Now, the playoff game was obviously very close down to the wire, and the Bills advanced to the AFC Championship. But if Josh had embarrassed Lamar in the regular season last year and beat him in the postseason, this is a big game for Lamar Jackson, man, because obviously we have all the questions about the postseason. You have, can you beat Patty? Can you beat the Chiefs? And the way that the Chiefs looked week one, not overreacting, but people were up in arms about the Eagles and an ugly win. No one's talking about the Chiefs and a bad loss right now. The AFC could have a new champion at the end of this year, and these two teams are at the top of the table right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is a huge matchup. And I tried to undersell it earlier to make my point about the Packers and Lions, but it is still a great matchup today. And it is going to tell us a lot about these teams coming into the season, at least. It won't tell us where they're going to finish, but it'll tell us where their focus has been throughout the offseason. To your point earlier, I just wanted to research and double check before I said anything. But yes, the Ravens beat the Buffalo Bills in the regular season last year, 35-10.
Okay.
And that was in Baltimore, though. So lost in Buffalo in the postseason, won in Baltimore by a landslide. Ultimately, looking back at that game against Buffalo in the snow, in the playoffs, there's three things that stuck out. It's the Mark Andrews drop, and it's the two Lamar Jackson turnovers. There was nothing on the Buffalo side that offensively that they just, nobody broke out for over 100 yards receiving. Nobody broke out for over 100 yards rushing. It was a lot of, Josh Allen making the small plays, kind of like what we saw from Hurts the other night, kind of just taking what the defense gives you in a sense, and simply just being smart with the football, not turning the football over. And that was ultimately the difference in the game. I think Khalil Shakur had like 60 receiving yards. I think James Cook had like 60 rushing yards.
That's Josh Allen, number one wide receiver, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Your number one wide receiver, your running back has 60 yards a tutty. I think Josh Allen had like 20 rushing yards, but 2 rushing touchdowns. What I'm trying to say is the Ravens, in a sense, to not take too much credit away from Buffalo, went out there and beat themselves. I mean, now Mark Andrews catches that 2-point conversion. It's a tie ball game. It's going maybe into overtime, right? Last minute.
Like you mentioned with Lamar. But
you sealed the deal on yourself, though, nonetheless, by dropping that pass. So that's what I want to see from the Ravens. Like, just don't kill yourself today, right? Like, come out and play Ravens.
On the road, football. Especially. On the road, you cannot turn the ball over. You have to come away and win that turnover battle, or at least be equal in that sense, right? But these two quarterbacks, two MVP candidates, probably atop the board, right? It's a bigger game for Josh Allen, right? And not in terms of the personal success or anything like that, but Lamar, been there, done. Like you already mentioned the regular season stat last year, 35-10. I remember Josh sitting on the sideline, head down at the end of the game on the bench. Doesn't matter when it comes to the postseason with Lamar. For Josh, it's not about what success he has or blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at those weapons and I'm looking at that wide receiver room, and it's a big test. And you're underdogs at home tonight. Can Josh Allen carry this team in a big way to set the tempo for the rest of the season? Can he disperse the ball around, right? What does Keon Coleman, what does Khalil Shakir look like? Dalton Kincaid, does he take a step? James Cook, does he have another fantastic year? Can Josh Allen go out there tonight on his home turf? You don't have to go into Baltimore, but set the tone, because I have questions about this Buffalo Bills team. See, people love to talk about this Bills team and getting to the Super Bowl, and Josh Allen has to be Superman in order to do that, in my opinion, because I don't think they have enough talent to get over that hump. And it's a big testament to what happens tonight.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, man. I think my narrative around this game is kind of just the opposite in a sense, but for the same reasons, if that makes sense. I do agree. Lamar and the Ravens, they should win this game. I mean, they have the better roster. Lamar, Josh, both former past MVPs, right? That should cancel each other out. When you look at it on paper, the Ravens should win. They have the better defensive unit. They have the better weapons around Lamar. When you look at it from the Buffalo side of things, to your point, Josh Allen is going to have to do more for Buffalo to win this game than Lamar would have to do. It's not to say that Lamar can't have a good game and lose, but it's just to say that Josh has to do more for his team to win football games in general because of the talent around him. The Ravens need this game more as well. When you look at their schedule and the big thing, man, the Ravens, they play the Bills this week, play the Browns, fine. That's division rivals still. You play the Lions, you play the Chiefs, and then you play the Texans. When you look at it from the Bills' perspective, they play the Ravens today, they play the Jets, they play the Dolphins, the Saints, and the Patriots. It's a lot of their division. It's a lot of what they're going to see the rest of this season compared to the Ravens and what they'll see not only from their division, but you look at their next couple games, the Browns are the only team out of their division they play, and it's still a tough-ass schedule against all playoff teams. So when you look at it from that standpoint, like the Ravens need to win this game against the Buffalo Bills, who on paper, once again, look like the
easier route to continue to rack up wins for sure.
Exactly. So that's just my perspective on it. Doesn't mean that the Bills don't come out and look at it like Ravens are the best team we are going to play in the first 5 weeks. Let's go all out tonight and get this W, and we're going to be in great shape. So there is multiple ways of looking at this game. Ultimately, I am going to go with the Ravens to win it. I think they need it more. I think they're coming off the loss in the playoffs, and I think they're the better team. So I think they will come out because you won't see Lamar's playoff woes in the regular season, right?
You shouldn't. I do agree. Obviously, you have Lamar and Derrick Henry. That's already enough talent. And then you add in another year for Zay Flowers and the rest of that wide receiver room. And I don't love Baltimore's wide receiver room, but bringing over D-Hop helps even at his age. And it's immediately better than what the Bills had to offer. The Ravens defense is better and more stacked. So, yeah, I do agree. I like the Ravens to come away with a win tonight. Favorite on the road is interesting. I think that is, again, another testament to the talent disparity between, the help, because you would assume in a close matchup like this, it's a pick 'em basically that the home team would get the advantage, and it's not right now. They're -1.5. That's Baltimore. So, moving on, Texans-Rams, another big matchup, 425. Stafford, Stroud, Devontae Adams in a new spot. Nico Collins another year. Nick Chubb gets to start with Joe Mixon on the PUP list to start the season. You told me before the show which way you're leaning. Explain why.
Yeah, man, it is specifically matchup based, and I feel really bad because I know my man Digital Rams is out there listening or watching somewhere, and it's not to diss you, my man. It's not to diss the Rams. It's not to say the Rams aren't going to have a good season this year. I don't like this matchup for the LA Rams. And it's because of that DeMeco Ryans-led Houston defense. I mean, they're fierce up front, man. I mean, you look at Will Anderson. They got Danielle Hunter on the other side. I think they got like Mario Edwards in the middle. And and then you go to their linebacking crew. Those guys hit hard. We know what Aziz Shahir, Al Shahir, whatever his name, you know what I'm talking about. The guy that lays the wood, whether it's before or after the whistle.
Is that the Trevor Lawrence hit last year?
I believe so. That dirty. It's so my only worry is that they hit hard and they are going to get after the quarterback today. Matthew Stafford is dealing with a back ailment. It does. It depends how healthy Matthew Stafford. How's he moving around in the pocket? How's he looking? Can he take a hit or two without it impacting his game today? Those are all things I'm going to keep my eye on. I do think this is going to be a close game, but to that point, I guess I just trust defense early in the season. That's what it comes down to with this pick. I think the Texans' defense is going to come out rolling, man, and I think they're going to come out getting after the quarterback, whereas it takes offenses a little bit to get going, right? Especially a quarterback that's been in and out of practice with back ailment and other injuries.
And you got a new weapon, which I'm very excited for, because obviously Cooper Kupp is an absolute legend when it comes to the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, great point.
Super Bowl MVP, but he's in a new spot, and Devontae Adams comes over, and it's an improvement somehow. Like at this point in their careers, I would take Devontae Adams over Cooper Kupp at this stage. Yeah. So you add that across from a young star in Puka Nacua. You have Kyron Williams, who's a top 10 back for my money. So I'm interested to see what the Rams offense looks like, especially with a test today. I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. Because as good on paper as the Texans defense is, you're coming to LA, and that Rams defense was very promising in the second half of the year, and then of the year last season, and then in the postseason, Jared versus year 2. What does CJ Stroud look like against that defense?
That's a big question
on the road. So can he protect the football? Can he be balanced at both hands? I remember last year, was it a Sunday night game you and I were texting back and forth about? And it was just a tale of two halves between, I think, Goff and Stroud, where Stroud was damn near perfect in the first half, and Goff had like 4 or 5 turnovers. Flipped the script in the second half, and Stroud had like a 0 QBR or a 3 QBR. And what does he look like on the road? Nico Collins, I do believe, is it their number? I think they're missing 2 wide receivers today.
They're going to be missing Christian Kirk for sure.
And I think someone else. Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Rams today to come away with this win. Our first disagreement. Look at that.
I will say this, to your point about CJ Stroud. I think that is part of the reason I'm going with the Texans in this one, is because I do expect CJ Stroud to kind of, I don't want to say bounce back. He's just in his 3rd season. I expect him to be better than he was last year. I expect him to
especially
kind of move
coming off that rookie season that he had, taking his team to the postseason. And did they win a game his rookie year? Did they beat? I remember they played like Flacco and the Browns or something. Did they beat the Browns that year? I think. Could be wrong, but
I'm not sure. I know he got. No
worries
here. Last postseason,
but what game should we go to next? I'm looking on the board here. Let's go over. Let's go in a big time revenge spot for both quarterbacks in the Meadowlands. Rodgers returns.
Yeah.
Justin Fields against the Steelers. I believe rain is all in the area in the Northeast right now, so I think it's going to be rainy and wet out in.
Okay. Very descriptive.
Yeah. But I got the Steelers in this one. We'll wrap that up pretty quickly. I got the Steelers. What I'm looking for, man, Rodgers going against that old defense. DK Metcalf, what does the Steelers offense look like? Is it better than obviously with Russell Wilson last year? They trade away George Pickens. What's wide receiver 2 still look like, even though DK is an improvement there? The rushing attack, you move on from Najee Harris. You extend Jaylen Warren, and I know they brought in a rookie, I believe, as well. So we'll see what that looks like. But really, it's the Steelers defense. And I know Terry, I saw the comment earlier. That's why I went to this game now. Justin Fields hoping to show off and show Pittsburgh what they missed out on. I don't think so. By all accounts, no, I'm not.
I know
that as nice as possible.
I just I knew what you were gonna say.
I'm not a Justin Fields guy. I never have been. B, by all accounts and reports throughout training camp, the Jets couldn't even move the ball or throw the ball against their own defense, and this Steelers defense is absolutely loaded on paper. Darius Slay, obviously former Eagle, goes over there, and then they trade for Jalen Ramsey. That's secondary. Joey Porter, and obviously TJ Watt up front. I don't know if the Jets are going to be able to move the ball much at all today, unless Justin Fields and Breece Hall get their legs going. I don't expect it to be a busy day for Garrett Wilson at all. I don't expect it to be a busy season for Garrett Wilson at all. So I got the Steelers in this one. I think they cover fairly easily.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is actually one of my favorite bets of the day. Definitely my favorite bet of the 1 p.m. slate. That 2.5, I get it. They're on the road, but defense travels, man. And at the end of the day, the big question I have written down on this page here, Justin Fields, question mark, can he throw? And I think that speaks for every problem that is going to be wrong with the Jets this season. It's going to pop up over and over again. And you saw it last year with the way the Steelers were kind of strapped for those games that Justin Fields played and started.
He had one breakout game where I think he threw for like
where he was able to pass the football consistently. And, you know, I think the big thing that I'll be looking for with the Jets here today, do you keep the training wheels on Justin Fields, or do you just kind of let him go out there and try to figure it out for once? Because I think that is one thing you could say about Justin Fields' career is that I just don't know if he's ever had the training wheels taken off and like the freedom to like run an offense or like, you know, be a quarterback. Yeah. Like not have his hand held during the entire game, because that's what it felt like in Pittsburgh last year. Just by me watching it. Now, if you're out there, you can correct me if I'm wrong if you watched it more last year, but that's just what it looked like to me, man. I don't trust Justin Fields to throw against like a regular defense or an average defense, let alone this.
D-Rap thinks he's going to cook with Garrett Wilson this year.
They did play in college together, right? Like at Ohio State. So, I mean, they should have a connection.
I do agree with you. I just don't trust him as a quarterback.
Their offensive line's not that good.
As a thrower of the football. Like whatever haters out there think of Jalen Hurts is what Justin Fields is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, he can't throw the ball. No, he literally, I don't trust him to throw the football consistently on a week-to-week basis. So,
yeah, agree.
Not a Justin Fields guy. I think the Jets lose today.
Do you think the Steelers, I know you said comfortably with this spread, do you think the Steelers run away with this one? Like, can the Steelers offense get going enough to run away with this one?
It's a great question. Unless, you know, because that Jets defense on paper, the youth is still there. That defense should be good. Weather could play a factor. It's week 1. It's early. Rodgers in a new system. DK in a new system. So maybe they don't quite get rolling today. I could see the Steelers scoring on defense.
Yeah, I feel that.
We'll see.
I feel that.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point. Like we have, we're asking all these questions about Justin Fields and what's he look like. What's Aaron Rodgers look like? Another year older, another system. Yeah. Did not look good last year. Obviously, we know what happened the year before in his 5-second stint as a Jet in his first year after signing the deal. So what does he look like, right? Can he get DK kind of revived after leaving Seattle? We'll see. I know we played George Pickens on Thursday. I said this to you when they made the trade. It had to be just a pure character issue. And obviously we know, that George Pickens does some questionable things on and off the football, not on and off the football field, but on the football field in the locker room recording last year in Pittsburgh, and Tomlin doesn't like that and doing a bunch of shit. So, but from a talent standpoint, like that was always the thing they were missing. George Pickens was wide receiver 1. They had no wide receiver 2. Well, you traded for DK Metcalf, and then you traded away the wide receiver 2. So it'll be interesting to see what that offense does look like. But I think they come away with the win, man. That total is so low at 38.5, and it probably hits, to be honest with you. So the under that is,
I feel
under
that.
I need to say, but
I feel that.
Yeah. D-Rab says before we move on, if the Steelers can win 10 games with no QB, they can win more with Rodgers. Just got to pass the ball and use DK and the run game with that defense. I agree, man. Honestly, that's all Rodgers has to be. See, I think we had this idea. Well, it should have been what all he had to be in New York, except they just didn't utilize Breece Hall in the run game. That offensive line stinks. Yeah. But really at this point, Aaron Rodgers just has to be a game manager. He doesn't have to be Superman anymore. With that defense, if you run the ball, protect the football, and make clutch time plays, which he's done all his career. If he could still do that, I agree, D-Rab. I honestly think the Steelers will give the Ravens a run for their money and the AFC North this year. We talked about that on that division breakdown. So, we'll see, man. One more game, I think, to really break down, and then we'll just go over predictions for the rest and fly through those. Yeah. In the NFC East, big matchup. It's my favorite bet of the day, which we'll get to in a couple of minutes. Giants at Commanders. I said this to you the other day on the NFC East breakdown. The single most overhyped team coming into 2025 is the Washington Commanders. And I think they get a test today, dude. I really do. The Giants defense hasn't been the problem. It's not going to be the problem today. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is incredible. Terry gets the contract, deal signed. Debo's here now. They're old, bro. They're old on defense. Zach Ertz is old. You traded away Brian Robinson Jr. You're starting Austin Eckler, apparently, who's old. I think they get a run for their money today by a division rival, and I think the Commanders start the year probably with a win, but they will not cover the spread.
Yeah, I was interested to see where you finished there, because that's kind of that. Well, I shouldn't say kind of. That's exactly where I'm at. I think the Giants ultimately cover today. Like you said, I think their defense. I'm trying to think right now. The second best defense in the NFC East. I mean, we have to see how the season goes, right? Like the Eagles' defense was night and day when you look at the first half against the Cowboys versus the second half. The Giants could be up there with the best defense in the division is what I'm getting at. When you look at their front seven specifically, it is dangerous and it is intimidating. Let me throw that word out there. It is a little intimidating when you look at Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter. You throw all those guys in one bucket together. It's a very impactful defensive line they got. It's just hard for me to pick them to win on the road. Like, that's tough, right? You said, big Commanders expectations this season. I think a loss for the Commanders would be coming out and struggling against the Giants, but maybe coming away with a win, right?
And I'm going to love every second of it. I never thought I'd be rooting for the New York Giants in a single game in my life. And I'm pulling for the New York Giants, not only to cover for my best bet of the day, but I honestly want the Commanders to start out 0-1. I have grown so tired of this fan base, of the expectations people are putting on this team, putting on this young quarterback. He's already the best quarterback in the NFC. Give me a fucking break.
Do you see Jaden Daniels struggling today? Is that kind of how you see it playing out, or is it something different? Like, maybe everything relies on Jaden Daniels and he just can't can't do it that way. I guess I'm just wondering how, how do you see it playing out? Like, do you think
all year long, to be honest with you, I'm interested to see if they can run the football. I mean, you traded away Brian Robinson Jr. Austin Eckler is older and hasn't held up. And then I think they have the Krosky Merritt or something like that is the rookie. Obviously, Jaden's legs can always be a factor, and he did it in the one drive he played in the preseason against the Bengals. But beyond that, can you line up under center and run the football and give it to a running back? If you can't, it's going to be a longer day, and it's going to be a longer year for Jaden Daniels, because if you're one-dimensional in this league, good luck.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you. Even looking back to last season, I wanted to check really quick, man. The Commanders beat the Giants in both matchups. There was one towards the end of the season and then one towards the beginning of the season, or midway through the season.
Yeah.
The first matchup, they beat the Giants 27-22, so did not cover that 6.5 point spread. And Jaden Daniels, 15 for 22, 209, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Then in the second matchup, 21-18. So once again, did not cover that spread. 23 for 29, 226 passing yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 44 rushing yards. So all that being said, what I'm trying to say, like, the Giants, we think the Giants are going to be better this year.
Correct.
They still competed at a high level.
They actually have a starting quarterback in the NFL.
They actually have a starting quarterback. They actually have an offense that may be able to score some points. So, yeah, I do like the spread play a lot here, man.
Yeah,
I really do.
It's my biggest play so far of the day, and obviously we'll get more on. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm rooting for the Giants to pull out the win, but I'll go with the Commanders win in a very close ball game, and the Giants cover the spread. Let's run through these other games and the rest of the slate. Let's start at the top. Buccaneers, Falcons. Who do you like in this NFC South battle?
It's only interesting because it's in Atlanta and it's week 1. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would like slam dunk the Bucks. I mixed the Bucks with dunk and said duck. Yeah, nonetheless, I am still gonna go with the Bucks on the road. It's a 1.5 point spread. It is a little wonky. If Michael Penix Jr. comes out and just looks like competent, maybe the Falcons can win at home, but I just think Todd Bowles against second-year quarterback who's basically a rookie quarterback to an extent. I like the Bucks in this one, getting the W. What does Baker look like, bro, man? Is he going to be consistent?
Yeah, I like it a lot, man. I do think it is a close game. The spread's weird. The over could potentially be interesting in this NFC South battle. On ESPN, it says 47.5. I'm not sure what it is on DraftKings or FanDuel or anything. But here we go. This is from George Ryder to me yesterday. Bucks Falcons being a 1.5 point spread doesn't make sense, mostly because the Falcons didn't give what's it say? Starters at all in the preseason. Penix 3 career games, and you give him 0 preseason snaps. It's the Bucks, and it's very easily the Bucks.
Interesting.
So he's not going with a close game in this one. Browns Bengals. Browns Bengals. A lot of questions about Trey Hendrickson all offseason. A lot of questions about that Bengals season that we'll be listening to and talking about all year long. Today will not be the day for that. I know it is a division rival. Joe Flacco's 87 years old. There's no help. Nick Chubb walked out the door. It's the Bengals, and I think that Joey B, T, Jamar, Chase Brown go off today.
Okay. I like it. I was a little curious with the Cincy spread, 5.5. Like I wouldn't put my money on it. Because my big question is, like, how bad is their defense? Like, is it worse than last year? Like, is it possible for it to be? I do like the Bengals in this one. I would just be a little shy with a 6-7 point spread against the division rival week 1, but I do agree with you. If Joe Burrow, the offense comes out rolling, it's hard to see the Browns being able to compete and stay with them. So, yeah, I like the Bengals.
Dolphins Colts. Who do you like in this one? Daniel Jones gets a start, one of the biggest news of August, instead of Anthony Richardson. Colts are favored in this game. We know the Dolphins have a lot of questions. Apparently, no one likes Tyreek Hill anymore to his health. But they always start hot in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Tua is playing. Like, that's not a question. You know what I mean? It's just questions for the season. So I do expect this offense to be rolling to start the year against the Colts defense. Give me the Dolphins in this one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the Dolphins in this one. They just have a stable situation at the quarterback position. They have an offense that should be able to put up some points today. I think both defenses will be legit this year. I think the Dolphins are a little bit better. I like what they ultimately did this offseason. You bring Minka Fitzpatrick in to kind of bolster that secondary. You got some guys up front with Jalen Phillips and company. So we'll see what the Dolphins can do. Ultimately, I do like them in this game. Money line straight up. Like you said, the Colts are favored, so you can just take either the spread for the Dolphins or you could just take the money line straight up with it -1.5 Indy's way. The only drawback is just my history of betting with the Dolphins. I feel like they always cost me. So, like, that's my only
and let's not kid ourselves. That defense isn't good. And obviously, moving on from Jalen Ramsey, that defense isn't good, man. So, I mean, we'll see what the Colts
I kind of like their defense. I do kind of like the Dolphins' defense, like their pass rush. I like their front seven.
Yeah.
You do have Fitzpatrick in the secondary. It's just how they get later in the season, but that's later in the season to your point. So.
And not against Daniel Jones. So yeah, give me the Dolphins this one.
Yeah.
This next game's low key interesting, and last year I would have said don't put this game on Red Zone at all.
I know what you're talking about.
Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, Mike Vrabel, Drake May, Raiders, Patriots in Foxborough. Patriots 2.5 point favorites. Totals 44.5. Who do you like in this one?
You probably know where I'm going to go just for my agenda this year, coming from the division previews. Yeah, this is my preseason sweetheart, the New England Patriots. Nothing against the Raiders. I agree with you. I think this is a team to kind of look out for this year. They could surprise people. It's just the fact that it is in New England. They'll be able to kind of settle things down for Drake May coming into the season, run the football. Run the football. They're set up so well to run the football, man. And all they did this offseason was improve their offensive line. They brought in 3 new starters. Now, that can go both ways, right? You got 3 new guys on the offensive line, but these are 3 studs. You look at Morgan Moses. I think the Will Campbell's the rookie. And then you got, is it Garrett Bradbury in the middle at center who played for, he's like an all-pro for the Vikings for like 10 years, I feel like. So they bolstered up the offensive line. They bolstered up the defensive line. They are all about running the football. You know what Mike Vrabel is about. I do just like the Patriots here in this one in Foxborough, but I'm interested to see what the Raiders can do, though. I am. I want to see what that looks like.
No Christian Gonzalez today is huge for New England.
That is huge.
I want to go with the Raiders in this one. This is a coin flip for me. The Patriots were your preseason sweetheart. I want to say the Raiders were mine, but I do think they are improved. I'm interested to see what Geno looks like in a different uniform, right? Because before last year, Geno Smith was one of the laughingstocks of the National Football League for years, and then kind of revitalizes himself in Seattle last year. The weapons obviously much different than having a Tyler Lockett and a DK Metcalf in the rushing attack. But can the Raiders just come out, run the ball, Geno protect the football? Is that defense able to slow down Drake May? Because obviously Stephon Diggs is there now, but what does the rest of that Patriots offense look like from skill position standpoint? What can they do? So in a very weird game, give me the Raiders.
I feel that. If you look at the Raiders, though, how do you feel about Amari Cooper like coming back and then retiring, and then also Jacoby Myers requesting a trade out of there for whatever?
No, it is.
Like, what is that? Like, why?
It's weird. Yeah, it is weird. And why did Jacoby Myers want out? Like what? Like I don't think he's mad to be there. I saw the comment he made. He's like, I asked and they said no, so I'm here. But like, you know what I mean? Like your wide receiver play. Your wide receiver one with a better.
Maybe it was Amari Cooper. Maybe he thought like they were bringing him in to oversee him. I don't know, but
very odd situation though. Probably the shittiest game of the day. Cardinals Saints. Give me the Cardinals in this one. I think the Saints. The Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns, but the New Orleans Saints and Spencer Rattler will be the worst team in the National Football League this year, and will be getting the #1 pick in this year's draft.
Yeah, I think this game is more about the Cardinals for me, just seeing what they're on. This is a game where I would like to see them come out and just take care of business to start the season. It is in NOLA, so you give them a little bit of grace. The spread's at 5.5. But, I mean, you got James Conner, you got Kyler Murray, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., you got Trey McBride.
Yeah.
Let's score some points. And their defense is sturdy. It's been sturdy.
I didn't look at it. The total's 44.5. It's a 5.5 point spread. I wonder what the Cardinals team total is. I'm sure it's like mid to high 20s, but that could definitely be something that I look at as well before 1 o'clock hits and we get out of here. But Cardinals team total could be a possible move.
Definitely the shittiest game, though, for sure.
Well, I mean, there's another one coming up, and that's the Panthers and the Jags, but it is better, obviously, than Spencer Rattler throwing the football around. But Bryce Young, another year, obviously, second half of the year was very good. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, man, what do they look like this year? The Jags are 4.5 point favorites at home. Who do you like in this one? D-Rab says, give them the Panthers.
I definitely do not like the Jags to cover the spread. Right. I would even lean with D-Rab towards taking the Panthers, man. There's just something weird about this game. Maybe I'm just lost all faith in Trevor Lawrence. The Jags should win this game at home. They should. But just something funky, man, about this game for me. It's just more of a gut feeling. I think the Panthers not shock the Jags. Like, it's not shocking, but like upset the Jags at home. I can see.
That's what, to me, this is arguably the biggest quote unquote upset of the day in terms of spread underdog coming away with an actual victory. The Giants would be the other team. But I'll lean with you guys. I'll ride. I'll say give me the Panthers as well. And I think it's just an awful start to the season for Trevor Lawrence and the Jags if the Panthers walk into their building and come away with a W today. But Ted McMillan's there. They brought Hunter Renfrow over. Xavier Legette. Obviously, Adam Thielen went back to Minnesota. Chuba, who we're going to talk about in a little bit as well. But yeah, give me the upside of a young Bryce Young instead of whatever it is Trevor Lawrence has going on in Jacksonville.
Bryce Young finished the season strong last year. Yeah.
Couple more games to run through today. Broncos, Titans. We can probably just fly through that one. Broncos at home. I mean, can the Titans score 13 points in this game? Like, I'm not totally sure.
That's the thing. Cam Ward, is he a guy that is just gonna? Can he change a franchise? Is he that good? Like, that's what I want to see.
But like week one, Vrabel's gone, and you're walking into Mile High to take on that defense.
Yeah,
I think the rookie's being made to look like a rook today. So, give me the Broncos. We'll fly through that one. Terry, if you're still tuning in, 49ers, Seahawks. Oddly enough, man, San Fran favored in this game only by 1.5. But again, on a different level, on a lesser level than the Bills Ravens, but odd in a game like that to see the home team as a slight underdog. Sam Darnold comes over after another, quarterback that revitalized his career in Minnesota last year. They make the move for Cooper Kupp as well. But obviously no more DK Metcalf. I believe no more Tyler Lockett, right? Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, he's on the Titans.
He's with Cam Ward, right? So, one of the biggest question marks I have for this season is the 49ers. And I had them as my 7th seed in the NFC when we did our playoff predictions. 2 questions. What does that defense look like? And can Brock Purdy move the football? Obviously, CMC, yet again, has injury concerns to start the season.
Yeah.
And besides George Kittle, I mean, Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings are there right now.
Yeah.
Can they move the ball? So,
yeah. This one, it's
I don't know which way to lean, bro.
This one's close. It is tough to pick, but I guess I just come down to like a simple equation for it. I think these teams are very similar from a talent standpoint at the end of the day, and ultimately what I'm going to go with is the home team. They're in Seattle. Seattle's not an easy place to play. They've gotten that defense together up in Seattle. They have a defensive-minded head coach. Mm-hmm. They're going to run the football today. Sam Darnold played pretty well for the Minnesota Vikings last year. You got a couple of weapons.
What does he look like, right? What is he? Same thing as Geno Smith. What do they look like in a new place?
Yeah. So win could blow me either way with this one. I'm not putting my money on it either way, but I would go Seahawks. Just home field advantage. That's it.
I hear you.
Cooper Kupp, though, in a new place. Cooper Kupp.
And then we got Monday Night Football, man. Another road favorite by 1.5. NFC North. Ben Johnson and the Bears hosting JJ McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings favored by 1.5. Totals 43.5 on Monday night. Scotty, who do you like, Caleb Williams or JJ McCarthy in this one?
This is another tough one, man. And as you mentioned, I think this one's a little more reasonable, right? Vikings being a playoff team, but this is JJ McCarthy's real debut. He's a rookie quarterback at the end of the day. They have a lot of faith in him, though. So that gives me a little bit of confidence in him coming into the season. But something about this game being in Chicago, I really want to see something from Ben Johnson. I really want to see something from Caleb Williams. And I'm going to go with the Bears at home, man. It's not really – I don't think this is like a shock, though. I don't think this is like a upset. The Vikings are favored, but they're on the road. They're going into Chicago. Chicago has, I would say, a lot to be excited about this year. Some people are skeptical, of course. Mm-hmm. I think Ben Johnson is going to be able to work with Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be able to do some magic. This is a guy that we were talking about as a generational quarterback. I can't just throw him out after one season with Matt Eberflus at the fucking helm. So I'm going to put a little bit of faith into Caleb Williams over JJ McCarthy, and I'm going to take the Bears, man. They got some weapons up there. Why not? Let's show something in this one.
I like it, man.
You could pick them in a sense for me, though.
Agree.
I want the Bears.
I like it. I want to lean the Bears, but I'll say the Vikings come away with a win. Look, as much people that are as skeptical as people are with Caleb Williams, there's a lot to be desired and unknown when it comes to JJ McCarthy. The Bears defense, obviously at home, but that Vikings defense is legit as well. From the reports, is that McCarthy has looked great all training camp in Minnesota. Obviously, you have Jettas. in a very close game, I'll say the Vikings come away with a win, man. But 10 minutes to kick off. We got three. I have three best bets. I don't know how many you have written down, so we'll get to those, and then we'll give away our touchdown parlay and get on out of here and enjoy the Sunday.
Yes,
I already told you my favorite bet of the day, especially in the 1:00 slate. I had the Giants plus 6.5. The line was 6. I altered it to 6.5. It's minus 122. I don't really care for the slight difference in odds there, so I'll buy the half point. My second favorite play of the day is Dolphins money line or plus 1.5, whatever you want to do. If you plus 1.5 is probably safer. I think it's like minus 118 or something like that right now. I'm not backing Daniel Jones in this one. And then my last one is tough. I've been flirting with an over. I've been looking for an over. We talked about the Rams-Texans matchup. I'm going to take the over in that one. I'll say over 43.5. I know we talked about it being a defensive battle, and like Digital Rems was saying, but I think I could see this game being 24-21 somewhere in that ballpark. So I'll take a lower total for two good offenses.
Oh, I like it. I like it, man. I know we're going to share some plays today, but for me, 1 p.m. slate, I will go with the Steelers over the Jets. It's in Meadowlands, but I do think the Steelers come out here and make a point today. I think Aaron Rodgers comes out, makes a point, plays with some pride, and puts the Jets down. Just where we think these teams are going this year, right? The Steelers versus the Jets. Like, I'm going with the Steelers in that one. The next one is going to be the Texans plus 3.5. I am going to roll with that. I'm going to trust that Texans defense. It's on the road, but we got to see what Matthew Stafford is on to start this season. I think you get some pressure on him early. They could turn this game into something that we were not expecting. So
yeah,
I'm going with the Texans in a tight one. Not going to go with the money line, but I will go with the spread. And then my last play, not my last play, just my last favorite play, I would say, is going to be the Ravens over the Bills. I think the Ravens go into Buffalo. I think they get their revenge. I think this game means more to them. And I'll take Lamar and the Ravens. I'm going money line, though. I'm going to go stay. Not the 1.5. You can leave that. I'll take the money line in case they just win by one.
Now, let's give out the touchdown parlay. We have 4 legs, 1 receiver, 3 running backs. When I put it in, it came out to plus 33.70. T. Higgins, anytime touchdown. Chuba Hubbard, anytime touchdown. David Montgomery on the goal line to get in after Jahmyr Gibbs gets him inside the 5. Anytime touchdown. And Nick Chubb with the Texans now. No Joe Mixon this week. Yep. Anytime touchdown. Like I said, plus 33.70. $5 pays over 173 and some change. So not too shabby if you just want to throw a couple of coins on it. But guys, that is going to wrap up this week 1 kickoff show. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in and commented along with us. We'll be back later in the week breaking down week 1. And of course, every Sunday live here, roughly around 11 or noon every single week, breaking down the slate, best bets, fantasy football, whatever you guys want to get into. Make sure to follow and subscribe as always. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Peace, everybody. Enjoy.